Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final chapter of the Jamie Vardy saga. An underdog story so wild, Disney's still trying to buy the rights, but with a relegation plot twist no one saw coming. After 13 years, 198 goals, and more Red Bull than a Formula One pit crew, Jamie Vardy is leaving Leicester City. And how does it end? Not with a Champions League trophy, but with a farewell tour through the championship. Shakespeare himself couldn't write this tragedy. Vardy said in his emotional video, "Now feels like the right time." Translation: we just got relegated. My back hurts and Fleetwood Town might actually be more stable right now. Let's break it all down. 1. From Fleetwood to Fox King. The Netflix pitch writes itself. Back in 2012, Leicester City bought Jamie Vardy from non-league Fleetwood Town for £1 million, basically the price of a very committed Sunday league striker with Wi-Fi. Fast forward, and the man has 198 goals, one Premier League title and probably more yellow cards for shithousery than we can count. And let's not forget, when Vardy joined Leicester, half the fanbase thought Fleetwood was a furniture store. This wasn't just a transfer, it was a gamble so wild even your bookie would have said, "Nah mate." Yet here we are, 13 years later, with Vardy turning that £1 million punt into a platinum-tier folklore. His journey is so cinematic, Ryan Reynolds probably has the script sitting in his inbox. Working title: from pub league to Premier League. One man, one party, one goal, literally every weekend. Vardy went from playing on potato fields to lifting the Premier League. Most players go to Real Madrid for dreams. Vardy went to the King Power Stadium and became the dream. Who else breaks a Van Nistelrooy record while trolling Man United fans and still has time to sip vodka from a Lucozade bottle? The guy scored in 11 straight matches while Leicester were 5-0-0-0 to 1 odds to win the league. That's not form, that's sorcery. Vardy didn't just join the elite, he took one look at them, flipped the bird and said, "Your pace is too slow." People said his story was impossible. So did everyone who bet against Leicester in 2016. They're still crying in betting shops to this day. 2. Vardy's trophy cabinet. Tiny club, big flex. Let's review the silverware. Premier League champion, FA Cup winner, Community Shield, Golden Boot, and he even dragged Leicester to a Champions League quarter-final on vibes alone. And let's be honest, when your club's trophy shelf mostly held dust and disappointment before you arrived, and now it looks like a modest version of Bayern Munich's garage sale, you know you've done bits. Vardy didn't just add silverware, he added swagger. He made lifting the Community Shield feel like conquering Europe, and that Golden Boot, he basically said, age is just a number, and defenders are just traffic cones. He won the Golden Boot at 33. That's the footballing equivalent of getting ripped at 50 and benching your gym trainer. Leicester's 2021 FA Cup win? Vardy dedicated it to the late owner, classy move. Meanwhile, most players dedicate wins to their dogs. Championship titles in 2014 and 2024. It's like Vardy collects promotions the way other players collect sports cars. Sure, he only got 7 goals this season. But at 38, I can barely get 7 hours of sleep. And remember, he turned down Arsenal, like multiple times. Who does that and survives? Jamie Vardy, that's who. 3. Vardy's farewell. Emotional, but with relegation as a backdrop. His goodbye video had everything: sadness, gratitude, and that one phrase every Leicester fan dreaded. It's the right time. Right time for what? Exactly. Another season of championship madness. And the timing. Chef's kiss levels of tragic. It's like Shakespeare wrote the script, then let Netflix handle the ending. Imagine being the club's greatest ever player and having your send-off sandwiched between a 2-0 loss to Ipswich and a cold goodbye at Bournemouth. No fairy tale parade. Just a curtain call in the rain, while the club packs its Premier League bags and Vardy waves goodbye with one hand and flips off the EFL with the other. Vardy called this season a shit show. And when a player says it out loud, you know it was rough. His final home game? Against Ipswich Town. His last ever game? Away to Bournemouth. That's not a farewell tour, it's a cautionary tale. Leicester called this season a total embarrassment. Bold of them to act like it was just this season. Fans want a statue. Not for the club, just to distract them from watching this team next year. He said Leicester will always have a place in his heart. Meanwhile, the team is placing themselves on every club's easy fixtures list. 4. The fans. Heartbroken. Hilarious, and hashtagging GOAT. Leicester fans are torn between mourning and meme making. They want a statue, a stand named after him, and maybe even a Vardy party IPA at the concession stands. Some fans are already planning their tributes like it's a royal funeral. Homemade banners, t-shirts with Jamie Vardy 9 Ver, and at least one guy trying to legally change his kid's name to Jame Vardinho. One supporter even said, "I'll name my next dog after him, even if it's a cat." The grief is real, but so is the comedy, because only football fans can mourn a player and meme his departure in the same breath. One fan said, "I wasn't ready for this." Bro, none of us were, not even the board, and they're the ones who relegated the club. Others are tweeting stuff like, "Thank you, JV." Meanwhile, Vardy's probably packing his boots for MLS and Googling how to say shithousery in American. Some say he should have retired to protect his legacy. But nah, Vardy's too chaotic to go out quietly. He's the guy who'd fake retire just to score a hat-trick at Sheffield Wednesday. Critics said Leicester were too reliant on him. Imagine blaming the smoke detector for alerting you the house is on fire. Some fans genuinely believe we'll never see another Jamie Vardy, and they're probably right. That kind of chaos comes once in a generation. 5. The neutrals. Shedding a single tear for the mad lad king. Pundits and neutrals are saluting the king of counterattacks, the sultan of shithousery, the man who turned a budget transfer into a Premier League nightmare for defenders. Even rival fans are confused about how to feel. One Spurs fan tweeted, "I hated playing against him, but I'll miss fearing him." That's respect. That's trauma. Even pundits who usually analyze football like it's a stock market pause to say, "Yeah, this one hurts," because Vardy wasn't just a player, he was a vibe. A shin pads down, limbs flailing, limbs creating vibe. You didn't watch him for tactics, you watched to see what unhinged brilliance might happen next. Vardy's departure feels like the last authentic thing in football just walked out the door. What's next? VAR giving fans red cards? Even GB News is mourning. When they're sad about football, you know it's serious. One fan said this marks the death of underdog football. Bit dramatic, but also fair. The Premier League without Vardy feels like a sitcom with the funny character written off in season 8. You'll still watch, but it's not the same. His legacy, immortal. His departure, emotional. His likely next move, bagging goals and red cards in MLS with a smirk. 6. Final thoughts. Raise your Red Bull for the king. Vardy's not just a Leicester legend, he is Leicester. 13 years, 198 goals, a Premier League title, and one epic party. His story will be told long after the club finishes mid-table in the championship again. And let's be clear, when the football historians gather in 50 years to write the book on Premier League legends, Vardy's chapter won't be polished or poetic. It'll be chaotic, caffeinated, and probably written in all caps with a can of Red Bull taped to the page. Because Jamie Vardy didn't just play the game, he broke it, rebuilt it in his image, then nutmegged it for good measure. If football is a movie, Vardy was the wild-card character that stole the show and somehow survived every sequel. Build the statue, name the beer, retire the shin pads. But more importantly, remember Vardy came, Vardy saw, Vardy absolutely shithoused. And wherever he goes next, MLS, Fleetwood, or maybe Sunday League with a GoPro, we'll be watching, with a can of Red Bull in hand. Long live the king of the king power. So, what's your favorite Jamie Vardy moment? That screamer against Liverpool? The 11-game streak? The time he just vibed through the Champions League? Let us know in the comments. Hit that like button if you've ever yelled Vardy's having a party. And subscribe for more beautiful football chaos. And remember, legends never die. They just sign for MLS and become memes forever. Cheers to you, Jamie Vardy. You absolute madman.